I don't know about you, but I didn't get into music so I could be a marketer or to be posting on social media all day. I got into music because I love to write songs. I love the way songs made me feel, and I wanted other people to hear those songs. But the problem came was if I want people to hear my music, I've got to learn to promote it. So I want to share 3 things that artists need to know and do to overcome the struggle of promoting their music. And the first one is the fear of self-promotion. Some artists feel really uncomfortable or very inauthentic when promoting themselves. I know I definitely did, especially when this whole TikTok thing came in. And, social media, I never had a problem with posting music videos and content and stuff like this. But then when you see artists going viral and blowing up and getting all the streams, you can't help to notice and be like, okay, how can I tap into that? And I found myself creating these TikToks and these videos, and it wasn't me. And I felt inauthentic, and my wife definitely felt that it was inauthentic. She's like, okay, stop doing it like that. If you're going to do it, like create content, create videos, it's fine. But you got to be you. You got to find what works for you, right? Like I'm a 45-year-old guy right now. I know I look a lot younger than that. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, skateboarding. But no, seriously, you got to find out what works for you. And I've dove even deeper into this, and I'm finding other artists that are posting stuff that's going viral, and it's not a skit. It's not doing a public stunt, or it's not being goofy or funny, right? Like, because I've had stuff that went viral, and it wasn't even me in it, but it was my song in it, and it wasn't converting to streams, right? And so when we're trying to find our voice and trying to find like what works for us, we can get fearful of wanting to promote ourselves because we don't want to come off weird, But you can find your authentic voice and be you. You just need to keep digging. There's so many artists out there. I want to give shouts out to Jesse Cannon. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff lately, and he always covers different artists, and I've been diving into it and getting some help from that of like just seeing, oh, okay, there's an idea, and it's not that I'm copying it, but modeling it for me and finding, okay, well, what song could work where I could test this out, right? Whether it's a point of view video, whether it's just like a music video, could be a lyric thing, could be just like a call to action, just very short snippets of the song. And I'm trying different stuff, and I'm still staying authentic to me, which is really important. And then the other thing is that I've really realized, especially with social media, is we don't want to come off salesy. Right? We don't want to come off thinking we're just trying to put our music out there. Oh, check out my stuff. But this is what I want to say. But if you're honestly really excited about your music, like, dude, check this out. Oh, check out this lyric. Yo, you hear that beat or that mix or that melody and you really love it. And that enthusiasm comes out in your video and in your posts. People are going to want to stand up with that. Like when you stand, it's going to make other people want to stand. When you rise, it's going to make one of the other people want to rise. And when you are actually enthusiastic about your music, that's not going to come off salesy. That's going to be contagious. People are going to be like, oh, like I'm feeling this person's vibe, like what they're putting out. It's not coming off salesy at all, but you've got to step into your right spirit and heart behind that. Like you really got to reframe yourself. Like I'm excited to do this. I'm not anxious. I'm anticipation mode. Like I can't wait to post. I can't wait to share this song. Like you got to flip the script in your brain and push that fear out. Doing that which you're afraid to do, the death of fear is certain, right? False evidence appearing real. That's what fear stands for. It seems real in your mind, but in reality, it's nothing at all. You weren't born with a spirit of fear, the Bible says, but a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And when you're doing things in love, when you're doing things with excitement, that is contagious, and that will punch fear in the face, and then you won't feel like you're just self-promoting. You won't be afraid to promote that song over and over again because you believe in it so much, and then people will start to believe in you. Number 2 is competition and comparison. The music industry is saturated with new releases every day, and wanting to stand out among the noise can be daunting, right? And it can feel like there's a lot of competition out there. It's like, well, what's the point? Or there's too much. But honestly, I've said this in other videos, 99% of artists do not promote their songs. They don't know how to launch their songs. They don't put any effort into it. They just whip it out and they want it to be organically found. So let's just be honest. Yes, There is a lot of artists out there, but when you really look into it, how many people are actually promoting their music, putting real effort behind the mix and the marketing plan and really going deep, right? It's not really there. But the problem is you're comparing yourself to the few that you are scrolling and watching and like, oh, well, I can't do it like that, or I can't do it this way. You know what I'm saying? But I love what Steve Jobs says. Let's not try to be better. Let's try to do it different. Let's create a category of your own, of you, because there's no one else like you. No one has the same voice print, fingerprint, or toe print. And you can make music. You can have your own identity. No one can tell a story the way you see it through your music, right? And so stop trying to be like them and figure out what is your authentic you. And it's not competition. It's not comparison. It's collaboration. Instead of comparing yourself, how can you collaborate with those people? But you've got to get out of that mindset of trying to be like them, and don't watch people on social media and be like, oh, I wish, or I'm better than them or whatnot. Okay, really look into it. What is it they're doing? One thing I really realized in it, and sometimes it takes a while for you to get it, but I feel like I finally understand this whole snippet thing with like TikToks and Reels and Shorts, and really grabbing that short clip of your song that's maybe only 5 to 8 seconds of just the hookiest part that can loop really well, and you've got a dope little performance of you singing it, or it's a music video, or just cool slides, pictures, but really finding that dope little snippet, but being willing to post it and get out there. And don't worry about what other people look like. Don't worry about the competition. Don't compare. Just do you. My Pastor Stephen Furtick, has a new book called Do the New You. And he has so many stories in there of like how he felt insecure going into songwriting sessions, and just so many different stories of like struggling to make it in music or to write with someone, and that someone said no to him at first, and then finally he was able to write with this person, and it ended up being a huge song, right? And so don't compare. Don't worry about competition. You do you, all right? Number 3 is, this is really holds artists back, and it's being inconsistent and you're not committed. You start and you stop. You start and you stop. And you don't just stop for a while. You stop for like weeks. You stop for months. Like you don't commit for a long period of time. And I've shared this story before where like one artist says, hey, I'm going to commit to TikTok. Like I'm going all in on this. And the other guy says he's committing too. So these two artists both commit to TikTok. And a week goes by and they're not really seeing a whole lot of traction, a little bit, few little wins, nothing big. Second week goes by. One artist is staying on it. The other artist watches some YouTube video like we're watching right now, and he's like, oh, wow, this person's talking about YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels or just some other new thing. And they put down TikTok and they go and chase this other shiny object. Now we're in week 3. This other artist that has stayed on TikTok, he's starting to see a little momentum. He's starting to figure it out a little bit. This whole posting thing, he's starting to find which song is really working. While this other artist, he started something brand new and he started at the bottom. And he's struggling, right? Week 4 comes along. This guy on TikTok's now starting to see a lot of traffic. It's been a month. This other guy's been on YouTube or whatever it is for now 2 weeks, and he's like, it's actually harder than I realized. Oh, there's Facebook Reels. I'm going to go jump over to that. And can you see what I'm talking about here? Where one guy is focused, follow one course until successful, while the other person is distracted and chasing all these shiny objects and starting something new, stopping, then starting something new, and wondering why they're getting nowhere, while this other person, this other artist, has got all this momentum because he had to push the rock up the hill, and then he finally got it to the top. And now he's going down the hill and he's got momentum, he's got speed. And then you look at 6 months go by and the artist that was trying all these different things looks at this one guy that's been focused for 6 months like, oh, dude, how did you do it, man? It's like you blew up overnight. It's like, no, dude, I was just consistent. I was committed to this thing. There was no plan B, right? There's no turning back. There's no other path. I'm sticking with this. I'm focused. This has to work. There's no other options, right? And so you got to kind of put your stake in the ground and say, look, I am going to commit to this and figure it out. I am not like a viral sensation yet. I have had certain things go viral. Most of my virality has been from other people finding my songs. And I think they found my songs because I've posted, because I do ads, and I market lots of other ways. But like, I believe in this thing and I want to figure it out because like, as much as I love ads, I know organic, once you trigger that and you trigger the algorithm, it's game on, baby. It's game on. If you have not picked up the Song Launch Checklist, get this one. If you have not gotten Spotify Profits, get this one. They both come with audiobooks, or you can get them on Amazon. Life-changing training for launching your song, because there's two phases. There's the pre-launch, getting it ready. Okay, you got to check off all these things to get your song ready for success, right? And then there's the post-launch. Everything you've got to do for a 30-day plus plan of things that you can do to promote your song. Spotify Profits, we go into the release radar, we go into playlists, we go into Spotify ads, we go into collaborations, how to trigger the algorithm, so much content on these. Anyways, just take action, have no fear, right? Don't be afraid of what if it doesn't work. Start thinking, what if it does? Stop seeing yourself as a failure. Start seeing yourself as a success, the way God sees you, the way you're created to be. You were created to create. The desire in your heart, the dream is knocking. God is knocking, saying, come on, are you going to go? Are you going to do this? Right? Because people need your song, right? People need your song to change their lives. Songs changed your life. Well, you now have the ability to change someone else. I had this artist that bought one of our books, because we have upsells on our stuff. We have upsells on my music. When people buy my CDs, we offer them other things. And this guy posted, I was really turned off by all your upsells. And I was like, dude, if you really believe you have something that can make a difference in someone's life, right? Like a CD, a song, merch, whatever it is, you will do everything that you can to promote that. So you will do upsells, right? And it's just unfortunately a lack of business knowledge, right? And just doesn't understand, right? But I want you to be unashamed about promoting your music. I really want, if you can get anything, just be unashamed, be unafraid, and you'll get unafraid of the tech side of it, and even just the organic and just doing it by taking action. The more you do it, the more you will punch fear in the face and realize you got nothing to be afraid of. And who cares if you make a mistake, And the last thing I'll say is, don't be afraid to start small. It's another one of my mentors, Brandon Burchard, says that. Don't be afraid to start small. Like, you want to look big right away, or you want to have this huge identity right away, but like, you want to start small. And people love cheering for the underdog and watching you growth. You know what that is? That's a story, right? That's why we love movies about the underdog story. Well, you can be the next underdog story.